signs blind to my eyes. Girl, do you remember me?
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend and that yesterday it wasn't too bad as far as Mondays go. So it was a little bit touch and go because, as you guys know, on Saturday I had a bit of a swollen lip thing happening, just a reaction to food that I sometimes get. And then Sunday it got a little bit worse, and then yesterday it was even worse. But today it's calmed down a little bit. I've had ice on my lip. I've almost been like a boxer in the corner all day with some ice, just trying to get the swelling down and everything, and it seems to be a little bit better, which is good. And I actually found out a test to see how swollen my lip was. If I don't have the ability to whistle, then that's how I knew that it was actually really quite swollen, and the ability to whistle has just about returned at the moment. So we are pretty much okay for the live stream, and talking is okay as well. So we will push on forward, and thank you guys for all of the messages about treatments and other people that have a similar kind of thing, and to some people who have said to go to a doctor or go to hospital and all that kind of stuff. I know exactly what it is. I don't have to do that because I know that it's just part of me and my acne that got passed down from my mum. But I think, as I said to my dad the other day, I think I've got like a super mutated version of it. So whatever my mum had, and when she had it quite badly, that then got passed down to me through the genes, and I get a new and improved version. So yeah, all that happens is, for some reason I get, these spots that are so deep. Normally when people get spots, it's like a red mark you can see on your skin, and sometimes people squeeze the spot because you can see it. But in my case, these spots are so deep underneath the skin that they swell up underneath, and for some reason it's around my mouth and always tends to be the same. So that's why my lips then swell up. So it looks like I've just got really swollen lips, but it's actually underneath that the root cause is acne that's really deep under the skin. So it's just part of who I am and the genetics and just the hand that I was dealt. But it doesn't happen that often, as I'm sure you guys know, because you are watching these live streams all the time, and it's only really the last few live streams where I've had a problem. So it'll calm down. Hopefully over the next few days it'll calm down even more, and then on Saturday we'll just be back to normal and it'll all be fine. So yeah, don't worry about it being a particular condition or something that's going to make myself or my face or other parts of my body become affected, maybe swell up. It's just always been the same thing since the age of, I think, 13. So yeah, it's one of those things. Unfortunately, I think it's just going to be a lifetime thing that I deal with. But I've also said about how my sister, she doesn't have great eyesight. She has to wear glasses, has had to wear glasses, I think probably since her teenage years, something like that, maybe late teens. So I got good eyes, which is good as well. So yeah, we both have different she gets hay fever as well, which is something that I don't get. So whether we would have a trade-off of different conditions, I don't know. I'm not sure whether I would trade, you know, eyesight for, you know, having bad acne. But then again, it's it's one of those things that I think everybody has these different things that are wrong with them, and you'd rather just take your own, you know, ailments or the things that you have genetically, rather than taking lots of other people's things and think, actually, I prefer what I had before because it didn't really affect me that badly. Anyway, let's get into the live stream and get you guys up on screen for a start. Here we have Billy in the house and Kim. I'm just going to move this box down a little bit so that we can see things a bit more clearly, and I can see Orlando going through there as well. Marta, Corey, Robert, Joni and Bonnie, Laurie, Bill, Tammy, Rocker Girl, Charlie and Bob in the house. I'm just waiting for Tom to go through as well. Susan and Dennis moderating, and big shout out to the moderators as always. But hello to everyone in that live chat room. Thank you for joining me tonight. And let's get the names of my patrons up on screen, and there it is. I always say the foundation of everything that I do on the channel, and they really are. So a massive shout out to you guys at the bottom of the screen. They make it possible, everything that I do on the channel. And I can see somebody was going through. I was Belladonna saying, Phil, instant lip plumper. So thank you for that. And this is another thing that I was thinking, that it seems to be the trend nowadays that, you know, girls and guys are injecting their lips with, I don't know what it is, some kind of filler to make their top lip, it seems to be just the top lip that they focus on, to make it thicker. And I thought, you know, I'm actually saving a lot of money, that if I wanted to do that, all I need to do is just eat a trigger food and then my lips will start to swell up, and I've saved myself some money. But it's not a look that I'm chasing, so I would rather my lips would just stay the normal size. And I know that everybody's different, and whatever your perception of beauty is unique to you, but certainly for some reason, I don't know why, I can always spot when people have had their lips injected, because I think just through science and the testing that they've done, that I saw a documentary on the ideal size of the lips compared to each other. The top lip should be half the size of the bottom lip, and this is to do with, you know, having like the mirror image of the face, you know, if it just, you know, is more of an accurate image when it's flipped around, it's supposed to be more attractive or whatever. But on that documentary, yeah, the top lip should be thinner than the bottom lip. But then when everybody gets their top lip injected, I think that's why it's so obvious, because it looks unnatural, at least it does to me. And I think the problem was Angelina Jolie, that she had naturally really thick lips. And then, you know, everyone saw her as really attractive, and, you know, she got a lot of media exposure. But there's a difference between having naturally, you know, big lips and then trying to manipulate, you know, because when you manipulate it, the skin gets really stretched and it does look swollen and it looks like you have been punched. So yeah, not a look that I'm particularly into myself, especially for myself, but I can't avoid it, unfortunately. But it's something that, what I can relate it to is guys that inject themselves with Synthol, I think it's called, which is like a similar thing. It's a synthetic way of looking like you've got muscles or that you work out, but it just looks a bit ridiculous, because all you're doing is injecting a liquid into like your bicep. You're not actually injecting it into your bicep, you're injecting it underneath the skin, so you get this lump that comes out. And then guys do that rather than going to the gym, just to make it look like they've got muscles, but it just looks weird. And it's something that the human brain has been adapting and spotting things that don't quite look right. And, you know, obviously back in the day, and I'm talking about thousands of years ago, it's something that you had to be able to spot a potential genetic weakness in either a future partner or somebody that might be part of your particular group or tribe. And the human brain got very good at seeing things that weren't quite normal or were a sign of something that might be wrong. And I think it's just the point that nowadays, like, if I see a guy who has Synthol injected into his chest or his arms, I can tell straight away that that's not a natural body. It's somebody who has injected themselves with something. And I think that's just what I see when people have injected their lips. It just doesn't look natural. And I'm sure there's loads of things, you know, with plastic surgery as well. I think a lot of people can spot that because it's just something that we are, you know, attuned to be able to spot because of our, you know, thousands of years of evolution. So anyway, moving on and getting into the live stream. I mean, we haven't talked about that before, but we talk about all kinds of things on the live streams. We are going to be getting up on screen tonight's likes goal, which I think is actually set to something different to what I typed in earlier. It's going to be 360, and let me just get that up on screen because there it is. So we are looking for every single thumbs up we can get tonight. 360 is the target. So if you can leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be much appreciated. I can see that on the likeometer. We are at 163 likes so far. So made a little bit of a dent in that total. So I can see that Orlando's just about to go through the live chat room talking about Synthol. So let me see. We'll get to that in a minute. But Orlando's talking about Synthol. But maybe it's something different that I'm thinking of because there are guys who have literally, you know, it's not even to do with working out or, you know, getting, you know, a good pump before you might, you know, be entering a competition if you're into bodybuilding. It's literally they're just injecting themselves with something that makes a lump on their arm. So they're not actually exercising. It's just like a dormant lump that they then are kind of pretending that is a muscle. Maybe they inject it into the muscle. I do not know. I'm not really into, you know, steroids and all that kind of stuff. Even though I have a background in sport and exercise science and working out myself, but I've never done any drugs. All I've done is take protein, like whey protein in a milkshake. That's as far as I've got. And then, you know, creatine as well, which is a, you know, naturally occurring substance in the body. So it's nothing that's illegal. I think some people, you know, when they get to a point, and this is what I got to, where you get to a point where you've maxed out your genetics and you feel like, yeah, you're going to the gym and you're not making any more improvements, then you can get a tiny bit of improvement, or at least I found maybe a tiny bit from, you know, then taking creatine. But yeah, generally that wasn't something that I did regularly because I was quite lazy with it. I just make sure that I got enough protein every day and just really relied on that, just diet and exercise. So yeah, steroids and, you know, steroid cycles and all that kind of stuff I don't really know about because yeah, it's not something that I particularly wanted to get into myself, and I was quite happy with where I got to with my body and felt like I don't need to get any bigger. Because yeah, my genetic limit, my genetic ceiling was good enough for me. I don't want to kind of start pushing things into a dangerous area, especially if you don't know too much about your body. And for me, you know, taking steroids is one of those things that, of course, everybody has their own choice, and you've got to, you know, add up the pros and cons. But for me, because the heart is a muscle as well, you're exercising to a point that your body shouldn't be really allowed to reach, and it means that your heart is being put under pressure. And this is something that I actually am thinking about more recently. When I see really big bodybuilders, it's exactly the same thing as being, you know, morbidly obese, because your body is having to now supply blood and supply blood flow to so much more size of a body. And especially when you're exercising at that kind of intensity, that's where, you know, so many bodybuilders have died of heart failure because their heart is growing, you know, to try and, you know, deal with all of this exercise, high intensity exercise, and their hearts literally just get too big, sometimes just too big for their rib cage because bones don't grow. So your rib cage is the same size as it would have been when you were 16 or 17, but now imagine the size of the body and how big that has got compared to your bone structure. The bones never change. So your heart, as it's growing inside your chest, unfortunately, it actually gets trapped inside the chest and it's trying to get even bigger, but it can't. And yeah, sadly, there have been many bodybuilders that have died from that, from using steroids and performance enhancing drugs. So yeah, I don't want to get any, I mean, I'm not a serious athlete myself. I just work out for, you know, staying healthy, and that's all I see it for, really. And I don't have any aspirations to be like a bodybuilder, but as I said, everybody else, you know, it's just your choice. Personally, whatever you want to do, it's absolutely fine. And yeah, nobody gets to choose or actually tell people how to live their lives. Whatever they want to do is fine. You know, that's just life. Everybody can lead the life that they want to. But anyway, we will be getting into the donations, and the ones that came in before we went live. Just before we do, I always say that you don't have to donate. It's just watching the live stream is great. Maybe watching a video on the channel, hitting the thumbs up would be fantastic as well. But if you can't resist the temptation to donate, then I get the donations tab up on screen so you guys can see that. Between 35 and 45% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, and you can find that in the description below if you guys want to do things in that way. But like I said, you don't have to donate at all. So let's get organized for these donations that came in before we went live. And the first one was from Orlando, I do believe. I'm just going to move this a little bit so I can see more clearly. Yes, Orlando donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message was, hello, you dandy Dodgers. Spike the likes with lots of thumbs up, and then take it away, Paul. So thank you for that, Orlando. Paul did then take it away with a $2 donation. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message was, spike the likes, Orlando's sidekick, 276,000 subs. Yay! So thank you for that, Paul. And great introduction. In order to get this up on screen, we've now just passed 276,000 subscribers. So thank you guys for hitting that subscribe button, the notification bell, all that kind of cool stuff, and the thumbs up button on the live streams, but on the videos as well. I'll just give a quick spike of the likes for the 360 likes that we're aiming for tonight. We're at 207 at the moment, so we are getting there. Thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up, and yeah, just for subscribing, because 276,000. A crazy number, but we will keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. That's pretty much what I always say, but it is great that more people are subscribing and watching the videos. So let me get that off the screen. And the crowd stopped, and then they started, but now they stopped again. So we're back to being able to hear my voice, which is good or bad depending on your opinion. But thank you for those donations, Paul. And then Orlando donated again, just as we went live with $5. So thank you for that. And the message was, Phil, it is the New York Yankees versus the Cleveland Guardians in American playoff baseball. I will be listening to the show. May your acne clear up. So thank you for that, Orlando. And yes, hopefully it will. Yeah, just got to be sensible. Stardust Unicorn donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. Support band to Wings of Pegasus. And the message is, left a like, we'll catch up next time. So see you then. And Orlando has donated $5 again. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is, Synthol is an anabolic steroid which helps bodybuilders with their pump up before hitting the stage. You already know toxic stuff. So thank you for that, Orlando. And yeah, I'm not sure whether what I'm thinking of is the same thing. It's probably a little bit different because if Synthol's used to get their pump before they go out on stage, yeah, what I'm thinking of is something totally different that isn't actually bodybuilders that are using it. It's people that don't exercise and inject themselves in order to just look like they've got muscles. It looks really weird, but maybe you guys have seen it on the internet. But the people that are doing that aren't professional bodybuilders. Bodybuilders, I've seen a lot of bodybuilding shows. I hadn't actually been to them, but on the internet, and being kind of into working out when I was younger, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, and watching the documentaries from back in the day with Lou Ferrigno as well. So, yeah, all those kind of documentaries, I was quite into those. So I would be quite familiar with the bodybuilding shows, Mr. Universe as well. So, yeah, interesting watching that. But I think, nowadays it's all gone a little bit crazy because of the adaptations in, steroids and the size that people can get to now, and then the way that their bellies kind of now blow out because it's I don't know whether it's a side effect of growth hormone or what they're using, but there's something that the bodybuilders are now using that gives them the bubble gut, I think it's referred to as, whereas back in the day, the abs of all of the bodybuilders, had the definition and wasn't kind of swollen up as it is now. But by having the swollen gut, it means that they can get the muscles even bigger because it's a more effective steroid, apparently. But anyway, that is that. Thank you for that, Orlando. And Orlando donated $2 again. Thank you for that. And the message is, you are spot on about synth. Enough said. So thank you for that, Orlando. Right. We are going to jump into the PayPal window as well because there were some donations before we went live, and you guys know that I like to address all of these before we kind of get into the ones that have happened tonight, because there are other donations such as this one that happened at midnight on Sunday. So thank you for this, Valerie, and the message was donation. So thank you for that. And let me get to the next one, which was Douglas, who donated £17.11. Thank you for that. And that was at 1:55 on Sunday morning. And the message is for a donation for membership and for access to more of his content. So thank you for that, Douglas. And I'm not sure whether you mean to be going on Patreon, and the Patreon site is patreon.com/wings of Pegasus. So it's like that if you want to go to get the more the content, the other stuff that I do, the guitar lessons, all that kind of stuff, head over to patreon.com/wings of Pegasus. So thank you for that donation, Douglas. And I mean, just along those lines, I know that some people ask why I don't have the membership option on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And that's because of the videos that I do. If you have videos that are copyright claimed, which means featuring other people's music, then in the UK, you can't have a membership channel. And I think it's actually different for different countries. In the USA, I know for a fact that there are videos that look at other people's, songs and analyze them, and they can have a membership on their channel, but it's not something that I can do, unfortunately. It's just not an option for channels here in the UK to be able to do that. So, the only way that you can effectively become a member is over on patreon.com/wings of Pegasus, and then you'll get access to all the other stuff that is over there, all the cover videos and my original music, and the guitar videos. There's so many things that I've done over there that I'm sure you guys who are over there, you know all the stuff that's available. But I mean, that's going back years and years and years, the stuff that I've got over on Patreon. So yes, I do share all of the videos on Patreon as well as do them on YouTube. So the same time they come out on YouTube, they come out on Patreon. So if you are over there on Patreon, you'll get an email for every single video as well, just in case you don't want to miss any video. So anyway, thank you, Douglas, for that donation. And getting into the next one, Nicole donated £16.66. Thank you for that, Nicole. And the message was, hello Phil, I wish many good things for you in London, my favourite town. I hope everything is okay. Rock, kiss and fondly. So thank you for that, Nicole. And that was at 6 this morning, so we're getting a little bit more up to date now. And Tammy donated £30, so thank you for that, Tammy. And the message was, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 276,000 subscribers. What do you think is the most important thing for a musician to remember? Rock. So thank you for that, Tammy. And I think, your own songs is probably quite a good idea to try and remember that. And it's quite important to remember your songs if you are indeed an original artist. Maybe if you're performing covers, then you get a little bit more of an excuse. But the most important thing to remember, I think probably, that is going to be difficult. If you want to be an independent musician, if you want to write your own music, you want to sell your music, it's such a competitive marketplace at the moment. I mean, just with the invention of the internet, that it's going to be really difficult. You've pretty much got to just spend as much time every day doing what you can to make a success of yourself and your career. And I think it's an important thing to remember that all of the stories you hear about where you might have a musician or an artist who just happened to be heard by, a record label employee, and then they got a record deal and all that kind of stuff. That's like winning the lottery. If you think about the amount of musicians in the world and the stories that you hear that are like that, you don't hear millions of stories like that. You hear one or two or maybe three, and generally you're hearing an interview with a musician who's very famous anyway. So you're hearing the exception to the rule. The rule is that there are millions of musicians all doing what they're trying to do and what you're trying to do, which is get your music out there. So you've got to accept that it's going to be really difficult, and you're not, unless you think you're going to win the lottery, fine, you can think that if you want to, but you're not statistically going to win the lottery. And when I'm talking about the lottery, the music lottery of, having somebody else do all the work for you. It just doesn't work that way. And you can see on YouTube the amount of talent that's out there, and you might have channels that haven't got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but they are really talented musicians. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. It's not a shortage of talent. It's just a shortage of, people getting opportunities or getting a bit of luck. And generally the people that get, more attention on the internet, they've just been working really hard at it, and they've managed just to get their, head a little bit higher to be seen by more people than other people on the internet. So yeah, it's a really difficult thing, and something that I think is important to remember, that you've got to work really hard, and it's not really a talent thing. You've just got to work harder than other people, and generally that's the rule for pretty much anything in the world. There's a lot of competition for every single job on the planet, especially things like music or acting or things that are in the arts. It's a really competitive marketplace, so you've just got to try and outwork other people, and then if you can do that, then you've got a chance to be seen by more people. And I've mentioned before, about writing over 100,000 messages to different, fans of hard rock bands over the course of like 2 or 3 years. And I just did that day in, day out. I'd put messages on music groups on Facebook for, hard rock, melodic hard rock, and I'd do that every day as well. And probably, I don't know, between 30 and 50 pages I would put a post on every day. Again, that was just something that I did as part of my daily routine. And, 2 to 3 years I did that. And yeah, that's not including the videos that I did every night, and I did a new video every night on YouTube for just over 2 years. So without missing one at all. And I didn't miss a live stream either. So that's it. I think I probably dedicated 5 years of my life every day and every night of doing, something that took multiple hours of each day. But that's unfortunately sometimes just what you got to do. You've got to outwork other people. And I was teaching guitar during the day as well. So as soon as I stopped teaching guitar, it would be then usually dinner, and then get into doing all of the posts on the Facebook pages, messaging people. And yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. So that's what I would say, to just have a realistic expectation of how difficult it's going to be, but I think that if you've got a passion for something, you'll do whatever it takes. And I think there's lots of different versions of whatever it takes, because I've had people that have joined my band in the past and say, I'll do whatever it takes, you know, to make it, to be successful. And then you'll say, can you do a rehearsal on Thursday? And they say, oh no, I can't do it because I'm watching a movie. And you think, well, that's not exactly doing anything. So I think my version of doing anything was really, I would do anything. And other people have got this rose-tinted version of, oh, I'd do anything to make it. He said, well, will you actually sacrifice watching a movie? And then they think, well, I'm not really, you know, sure about that. That's a bit excessive. So yeah, it's different for everyone. But thank you, Tammy, for that donation. And let me just pop back into this PayPal window. I'm just waiting for it to load, and it is Denise who has donated £51.84. So thank you for that, Denise. And that's a little bit more recent. It's 10:15 earlier this evening, so thank you for that. And I think we are getting a little bit more up to date now with the donations, so thank you for this one, Steve. And I'm just going to show this on screen because this was at 10:30, actually 11:30 I think my time, and it was for £5. So thank you for that, Steve. And we do have a message with this. So just before I read that, I can see that on my screen the camera's got a little bit dark. You know, the high contrast thing, it does sometimes, so I don't know why that happens. Let me see if I can solve it by putting my hand in front of the screen, and then now I become lighter. But I'm not sure whether this is actually going to last or not. So let's see. I mean, it might be the case that I show a video and then it gradually goes back down to the high contrast thing. But at the moment, it's looking a little bit more like normal colours. Anyway, thank you, Steve, for this donation. And I'm just going to scroll. Oh, we are already scrolled to the question. And it is, how do you convert a song to an entirely new format? For example, I have seen pictures at an exhibition played on 2 pianos, 1 piano, 1 guitar by ELP and by a full orchestra. So thank you for that, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Yeah, ELP. Thank you for that, Steve. And yeah, generally what will happen if you're trying to rearrange a song, and I know that other people will think a format is like, yeah, MP3 or a WAV or AIFF. You've got so many different formats, and then you just need converting software to convert an MP3, you know, into a WAV, for example. But anyway, getting into actually converting it to different instruments is relatively straightforward, I would say, because when you listen to a song, you've got all of your elements in there. So you'd have your bass that you can listen out for. You can have, you know, the drums to get kind of an idea of the groove going on. It might have guitars in there, might have keys, might have vocals. So once you're kind of trying to make this into a cover video, if you're, say, doing a cover, then generally on piano, you've got your bass on the left hand. So it means that any bass that's being played, you can manipulate that with the left hand. You can play the chords with the right hand. So that's quite a straightforward conversion. If you're just wanting to do a cover on the piano of a particular song, you can take the bass, listen to what that's doing, and then listen to the chords that are being played on the guitar and just work that into the piano. And pretty much, if you're looking to totally, I mean, an orchestra, it's pretty much going to be the same thing. You'll have, you know, all of the bass in there. You might want to, you know, get the violins to play some of the chords. But then again, when you're now thinking about an orchestra, there's so much more you can do. So you can start adding in more melody if you want to. You can have the violins, you know, either playing, you know, lead lines all together, or you can have them playing, you know, mostly of, you know, the melody, but maybe having a lead section that's now taking it in a different place. And yeah, there's so many things that you can do. Obviously, if you've got a horn section, you can start, you know, throwing in some more melodies that way. But obviously, you keep it, you know, relevant to the song, but it gives you a little bit more freedom if you're doing a cover in that way, in order to play the cover your own way and come up with a totally new version of a well-known song. So yes, you can mix things around. There'll be, maybe guys that might have like two cellos and they're just playing a different version of a cover, but again, it's just working out the different parts and just harmonizing with each other. And this is the other thing, that when you're talking about playing the guitar, and something that Mike Dawes and I were talking about recently on the channel, about how he works through his cover songs and his cover videos, and how he actually arranges them and puts them all together, starting with the melody on the left hand and then tapping in chords, and how he kind of layers that up. So for him, he's trying to do everything on one guitar. So it means that you've got all the lead lines, you've got the chords in there as well. He's striking the guitar, giving it that percussive element. So yeah, you can pretty much just break things down into its different sections. And that's exactly what he does with those songs, is that he listens to the original song and just breaks down exactly what's going on with each instrument, and then work out how he's going to now do that on his guitar. So, you can literally turn a whole song into just a cover on one guitar. And for me personally, I like to take on the whole song, so it means doing vocals and harmony vocals as well. But if you're just a guitarist, it means that all you have to do is just listen to the melody of the song, and you can then start to kind of play that on your guitar if you want to. And I know that some people just play over the top of the song. If you want to do a cover that way, then you can just play the guitar part, take the guitar part out, and then just play the guitar part yourself and have all of the original backing in there. But for me, I just like the challenge of taking on everything and doing a whole cover, a whole song with all of the instruments. Because for me, just playing rhythm guitar and playing lead guitar over the top of a track is, and that's basically what I do and what I did for years and years and years. When I'm teaching guitar, you just teach somebody the guitar part. Whereas for me, I really like to get into the whole song and get an appreciation of what's gone into it artistically from every point of view. And that's why, it took me a while to learn to sing, but I wanted to be able to produce songs like myself artistically as well. I wanted to be able to, do a whole song, and that's why I, learned to sing, and it meant that I could then do an album myself and release that, and, hopefully people would like it enough to buy it. So I'm very lucky that fortunately people do that. And thank you guys for buying my music and checking out my album on wingsofpegasus.com. So thank you for that, Steve. And just going to scroll up because Maria has donated £1.73 as well. So thank you for that, Maria. And the message is, "Hi Phil. Here's a little something for your lip medicine fund. Hope your lip feels better soon. Spike those likes, everyone." So thank you for that, Maria. And yes, it's not really a case of medication. It's just having to wait for the swelling to go down, because it's like any kind of acne, but you can't really see it because it's so deep within the skin. So it'll take, I don't know. I mean, it started on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days. I think maybe another couple of days it'll take, but it should be okay by the weekend. Fingers crossed. So thank you for that, Maria. And Lisa W is in the house and has donated £10. Thank you for that, Lisa. And the message is, "When you were in bands, I know you had nicknames for the guys. Andrew Griffiths was called Griff, and James Knowles was called Nosy. Did you guys have a nickname for you? What was it?" So thank you for that. And in Wings of Pegasus, I was just Phil, but my name was spelt with an F. So I think people assumed that I was doing that to try and have, like a fancy band name or something, to stand out. And it was just not my name, but it is actually my name because it's Norwegian. So that's the Norwegian spelling, and it's spelt with an F. So that's just the name that I used. But before that, I was in a band called Panic Attack, and we had, let me try and remember. We had AC Mark on drums, and that was like an alias or like a stage name. Griff was still Griff. we had Chris Law and James Law, and then I was Axis. So that was the name that I had in my first band, but then I kind of moved on from that because, yeah, actually, I think I wasn't Axis in the band. I was Axis before that, just like as an idea for a stage name, but then I think I still was just Phil in that band. And everybody else had stage names. So, yeah, I don't think I've really done the stage name thing. Just Phil is what I was called. But thank you for that, Lisa W. And Kevin has donated £1 as well. Thank you for that, Kevin. And the message is, happy 68th birthday to David Lee Roth. So thank you for that, Kevin. And yes, I mean, what a standalone vocalist, David was and not only for his vocal style but the show that he'd put on stage. And certainly David's voice is one of those that I heard very early on in my guitar learning experience, having my dad's Van Halen tape and listening to David's crazy vocals. So yeah, definitely a voice of my youth. But thank you for that, Kevin. And just going to scroll up because we have a donation here from Kim for £15. So thank you for that, Kim. And the message is, hey Phil, when you start going grey, do you think you'll colour your hair? By the way, I've used creatine too because I was involved in a double-blind study on its effects in women when exercising for general strength and stamina, not for bodybuilding. It was a fun study, but afterwards I was lazy with it too. Laugh out loud. So thank you for that. And yes, I mean, I would assume that the results of the test is that it would increase your general strength and stamina when exercising, because creatine, is something that's going to help you to recover more quickly between sets of exercise. So when you're exercising, for example, you might do 3 sets on a particular exercise, and especially if you're doing high intensity exercise, it helps you to recover more quickly. Therefore, push your muscles a little bit harder than you would do without creatine. So yes, I'm sure that the results found that the performance improved, and that's why creatine is a very popular supplement, and it's more a supplement, and it's not like doing drugs or doing steroids, anything like that. It's a naturally occurring substance in the body, and athletes like that compete in the Olympics, they take creatine as well, because yeah, it's not going to suddenly make you into a superhuman. But thank you for that, Kim. And the first part, when you start going grey, do you think you'll colour your hair? So I think, well, if people saw, I mean, at the moment my hair is not too bad, but in some kind of angles, or at some angles, because I spray my hair with hairspray, it sometimes makes the hair look like, you can kind of see here, it looks lighter, but I think that's the hairspray, because if I put the shadow over the top, it kind of makes it look darker. And maybe that's something that's better about the camera. When it goes high contrast, it just makes my hair look black, which it isn't. But I think the hairspray sometimes makes it look shinier than it is. But I know, considering my age as well, I know that there's quite a lot of grey hairs hiding in here. And people, if you met me in real life, I'm sure that you'd see them as well. But yeah, I think they do kind of sneak through, but I'm kind of getting away with it. So thank you for that, Kim, to saying when you start going grey, as if it hasn't started already. But I don't know. I don't think that I'd do the whole kind of dyeing thing. Going to like a hairdresser and they have tin foil and they do all that, and that's, I don't think I'd kind of do that. So all my hair would suddenly be another colour. I'd probably just keep on top of it as much as I could. I don't know. And I know there are shampoos, and I used this shampoo once before that my dad had, that was for just for use in the shower, and it was for, you know, getting rid of grey hairs or something like that, but it was too dark, so my hair suddenly went, yeah, it did almost go black. So I kind of overreacted in that sense. But, you know, maybe if there's something that, yeah, could make it look a little bit more natural, then I could do that. But at the moment, I'm not too bothered. I don't think I'm ever going to have, you know, suddenly my hair now all one color. It's always going to kind of have these different shades in it, and I'm not going to get it all dyed and then have, you know, highlights dyed in it to make it look like it's, you know, my hair. So yeah, I'm pretty relaxed with it at the moment. I don't mind too much. But anyway, thank you for that, Kim. And just scrolling up, because Diana has donated £2.76. So thank you for that. And I know that we talk about hair quite a lot on the channel from you guys in the live chat room. You're always mentioning about hair, but I did start the it's either Regain or Rogaine. I think it's called Regain here in the UK. And yeah, lots of my hair started to fall out because it started to shed. And I think that's reducing now. And I can't remember how long I've been on that for now. Maybe 5 weeks or 6 weeks. So it should have stopped the whole shedding phase. So my hair should be getting stronger. And I don't know whether when the hairs grow through and they're now stronger, whether they then become not grey or whether they still come back as grey hairs. I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. But I think, fingers crossed, it seems to be okay at the moment. Like, I haven't got like loads of like really you know, thin patches on my hair. I think hopefully those new hairs will start to grow through and we'll be fine for the future. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that the shedding has stopped on that. But that's just a bit of a Regain update, because I haven't been doing it that long, kind of rubbing that into my head. So thank you for that, Diana. But I'll keep you guys up to date. And Diana for the donation, but you're not asking about my hair, but just keeping you up to date with my journey on that side of things, because it's something that is inevitable for guys to lose your hair. But obviously, different guys lose it at different rates. I think I'm quite lucky with it that I've got a combination of my dad's side of the family where, you know, the male side of the family don't totally lose all of their hair. Their hair just kind of thins on this central section. But then I've got, I think, the hair thickness from my mum's side of the family. So I think that's where, even if I did start to lose more hair, or with the minoxidil, the Regain, I started to lose a lot more hair and shed a lot of hair, because it's thick, you know, it's not really too noticeable. So I get away with it. Anyway, scrolling back up, we have Alison, who has donated £10 as well. So thank you for that. And the message is, hello Phil, recently I heard that Greg Lake of Emerson, Lake and Palmer was given a guitar at age 12, learned a few chords and then wrote the song Lucky Man, age 12, which is featured on an ELP CD. What are your thoughts about that? Cheers, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Alison. And I mean, if you're creative and you start to learn the guitar, once you know a few chords, like some of the most popular songs in the world have used 3 chords or 4 chords, and generally, you know, I would teach my students on their first lesson 5 chords. So once you've got those chords, you can then start to just put them in a different order, come up with a melody over the top. And I think there are a lot of musicians who have written songs when they're very young, just putting together the first chords that they learn, and that's all you really need to get the creative ball rolling. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that Greg wrote a song at a very young age, and then it, you know, might have evolved maybe over the years throughout his teenage years, but the fundamental song was already there, and, you know, just a tweak here or there, and you've got a song that you can release with a melody over the top. And I think actually some people do like to hear the really early songs that musicians make, even if they're not that good. It kind of shows the progression of them as an artist. So yeah, I mean, it's great, but I think it's quite a common thing for musicians or kids to start wanting to write songs once they've learned a few chords. But thank you for that, Alison. Right, it's 53 minutes past midnight here in the UK. Somehow time has started escaping, so I'm just gonna jump into the vote for tonight. I haven't even mentioned this, that we are voting for either Don't Stop Believing, and this is the cover video, or The Boys Are Back in Town. And it looks like Don't Stop Believing is in the lead. And when I say in the lead, I'm going to bring this to a close in that poll, because we're going to have to jump into this cover video pretty soon. And Don't Stop Believing had 50 point something percent of the vote, so it's really close to 281 votes. So thank you guys for voting for that, and you guys over on Patreon for requesting it in the first place, or requesting these two songs. We are going to be jumping into this, and I remember, I think maybe the last time we listened to Don't Stop Believing is when I was having a problem with the software and it was really jumpy. So hopefully this will be a little bit smoother, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock!
Small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. Smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night.
Thanks so much for watching my cover of Don't Stop Believing by Journey. The names you can see here are my patrons. Hi patrons, thanks so much for your support and for making videos like this possible. If you want to get involved yourself and if you want to talk to me and maybe suggest some other songs that I can cover, head to this website down here, patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. And if I don't see you on Patreon, I will see you at the next video. Have a great day. Rock. And there we have it. That was my version of Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, of course. So thank you guys for voting for that tonight. Right, there was a donation that came through from Lucy that actually got skipped over in my inbox. So let me get that up on screen because Lucy donated £15. Thank you for that. And the message was, howdy Phil, fellow wingers and new wingers, spike the likes, y'all. So thank you for that. Thumbs up, rock horns, heart, and peace. So let's get that now. I think back up to date. Where were we? When did we skip over? Then it was Alison that donated. Okay, and then Vanessa has donated £5 as well. So thank you for that, Vanessa. That's a new one that has just come in. And Kim has donated £10. Again, thank you for that, Kim, and straight up donation there. And then Lynn has donated £64.40. Thank you for that, Lynn. A very kind donation, as they all are. Thank you guys for these donations. I always say you don't have to donate. So thank you. They are massively appreciated because it makes a huge difference to allow me to keep on pushing forward on the channel, as well as you guys at the bottom of the screen. You know who you are. But Lynn, thank you for this. And the message is, was hoping the British pound would recover before sending this. Looks like it hasn't yet. It's a crazy world. So thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, here in the UK with energy prices and kind of the strength of the pound and all that kind of stuff, it seems like, I remember when I was a kid, the difference was maybe about half, or the exchange rate was about half. So it meant that, you know, if you had £500, that would be $1,000. And I mean, I'm talking about, you know, quite a long time ago now, probably like maybe 30 years, 30 plus years. So now I think it's starting to get close to 1 to 1. So it means that, yeah, if you get $1,000, you get £1,000. So yeah, it's just the way that it works at the moment, and these things all fluctuate. But yeah, I think actually for me, it works. Actually, I'm trying to think. It might be on Patreon that it works the other way around, because the amount is in dollars, because Patreon is a website that's hosted in the USA. It means that everything goes through as dollars. So it means that if $1,000 goes through, then that's £1,000. Whereas if $1,000 went through before, then it would be £500. So I think on that side of things, if you know, the money gets converted from US to UK, then it's better, maybe. And if it goes from UK to US, then it's worse. I'm not sure, but that's how I think in my head. I know that some of the conversions are done from dollars into pounds, which I think is the better way. Then I don't know whether I do better from that, because obviously here in this country now, the price of everything has gone up. So it's probably all relative that, you know, what you could buy for X amount of money, X amount of pounds, you can still buy, but it costs more. So me getting more, it doesn't really matter, because the thing that I wanted to buy is now more expensive. But that's probably how it works. Anyway, I'm not so good at keeping up with exchange rates and, you know, the economy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's probably just the fact that unfortunately the UK is going through, I think the world's going through a very difficult time at the moment, especially considering the whole Russia thing and Ukraine, and the fact that Russia supplied a lot of energy, or a lot of gas and all that kind of stuff to Europe. So it meant that obviously Europe then now doesn't want to take it from Russia because it's funding the war against Ukraine. So yes, the world certainly is a crazy place at the moment. But thank you for that, Lynn. And we are going to be having a pick roulette. So we are going to be jumping into that now. And we don't have any pictures tonight. I think we got through those on the last live stream. So we will be jumping into the pick roulette. And just before I do, I can see that there have been some more donations in the super chat window, but I will get into those before the end of the live stream. So we'll get into the pick roulette now, and then after that we will get into the donations that have come in. And by the way, we're at 307 likes, so thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it'd be much appreciated if you could do that so that we can get closer to our target of 360 likes for tonight's live stream. We're in a race against time, so let's see if we can get a bit of a spike of the likes going on and maybe hit that target. But let's jump into tonight's pick roulette. Good luck, everybody, and I'll see you guys in a second. Rock. So let's get the wheel up on screen, and there it is. I haven't picked a top tip, so I'm just going to have a little look into that live chat room. I know that there's always a bit of a delay between me talking and then you guys hearing it, so I'm going to keep an eye out for that live chat room to see if anybody requests to be the top tip for tonight, and then I will choose you. And yeah, bear in mind that I have a 0% winning record of picking the top tip, but I think it was Anna last time that we were so close to getting. Right, Robert M says pick me. So Robert M is the top tip for tonight. Right, if this is your first pick roulette, then if we land on a name, you go away with the signed Wings of Pegasus pick. But we have these t-shirts as well that go around. So I'm going to give the wheel a spin, and we're going to see who's going to win. Robert M is the top tip for tonight. And good luck to everybody. I always say double your chances of winning by tuning in on a Saturday night as well as a Tuesday night, because we have pick roulettes whenever we reach the pick roulette likes goal. And again, oh, I can see Robert just went past there. So close but no cigar for tonight. I maintain my 0% record. And who are we going to end on? I think it's going to be Steve. Is it going to be Steve? And yes, it is. So Steve is the winner tonight of the signed Wings of Pegasus pick. So congratulations to you, Steve. And we know that Steve's in the house because of the donations window. And we just had a mention of Steve's donation. So Steve, if you could let yourself be known to Carla, that would be much appreciated, so that she could get everything that she needs from you to send that signed Wings of Pegasus pick off to you. So commiserations everybody else, including Robert, who is the top tip for tonight, but just tune in on Saturday as well. And yeah, if we do hit our likes goal, then it means that we will be having another pick roulette next week. But at the moment, we're looking for 39 more people, because we have 360 or no 40, oh no 38. I'm looking at the likeometer, it's jumping around a bit. It looks like we're looking for 38 more people in that live chat room to hit that thumbs up. So yeah, if you haven't hit that thumbs up, if you could do it, it'd be much appreciated, because it really helps this live stream to get out there a little bit more and for the channel to grow on the whole as well. So let's bring everything back, and we've gone into high contrast again. Never mind. But we also have to mention, we don't have to mention, but I like to mention the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, because that's where Vince hosts the after party, and that's after these live streams. So if you do use Facebook, head over there, just search for it in the search bar, Wings of Pegasus supporters group. You'll be allowed into that group, and you can hang out with these lovely people in the live chat room. And that's where the pictures are uploaded as well. If you've got any pictures of merchandise or that kind of stuff, merchandise, which I haven't even mentioned yet. Here we have it. Oh, I wonder if I hold this up to the screen. This is the mug, and then I go back, and now we get into the less high contrast normal lighting. So maybe that's something that I can use as an excuse to get the camera to reset itself. So here we have the Wings of Pegasus mug with Spike the Likes on the other side. If you want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, including the mugs, then head to the tray underneath this video or click on the link in the description below. It'll take you through to the spring.com store where you've got hoodies, t-shirts, caps, mugs, all of this cool stuff. So check that out. Head over to wingsofpegasus.com as well for more merch if you want necklaces and guitar picks and all that kind of stuff that Carla does over there. So we are looking at that lycometer 32 we're looking for, and it's 10 minutes past 1 here. So let me have a look over on Patreon and see what we had requested over there. Marilyn and Anna requested a Phil tune, so maybe we'll jump into one of those. Tammy did as well. Joe did as well. I don't know which one we're going to jump into though. D requested a Phil tune. Lots of Phil tune requests tonight, but not anyone specifically. So if somebody in that live chat room has a particular Phil tune, if you've been watching the live streams for any length of time and you know the Phil tunes that we have, if somebody wants to mention one of them, then I can get this up on screen. And I can see that Billy says let's have a Phil tune, so maybe we'll just have a random one out of the 4. And I did upload technically the first one, the bassist audition, because then the bassist becomes part of the band and then they continue after that. So we might jump into one other than that, and I still have to release the other 3 ones. So we will see. I think we had the library pretty recently, but I can see Orlando says the Italian, Maria says library, but then Brian says Italian. I tell you what, we're going to jump into the Italian because I think we had the library quite recently. I don't know, but anyway, we'll jump into this. Let me actually find it first. There it is, another real life story. And if you can keep on hitting that thumbs up, be much appreciated. Looking for 25 more people in the live chat room, so we'll see if we can make it, but we are up against it at the moment. Not too much longer left to go in the live stream, but I'll see you guys after this. Rock.
That sounds absolutely excellent. We'll get the next train down and meet you at the Fox.
What the heck was that all about?
That was the excellent Italian drummer we were hoping to hear from. He loves our songs and can't wait to meet. He's really keen. We're going to London tonight to meet at the Intrepid Fox. We'll get the train. He said he definitely wants the drummer position in the band.
Ruddy heck, that is awesome. Finally, someone keen enough to meet and get things rolling.
I am amazed at how empty this carriage is. It must be a lucky day.
Yes, this is very rare. Normally I would not know where to look and have somebody sneezing and coughing in my face.
Not to mention, of course, the regulation bum guff released into the airtight carriage, making breathing impossible. I'm actually really looking forward to tonight. I think this guy could be the guy we need. From what I've heard, he really wants to be in the band.
Finally, it seems our luck is changing.
I definitely think this was a fantastic use of my last £15 of the month. I don't mind being skinned if it means we have a decent drummer.
Yes, I'm certain he will appreciate us spending £15 each and taking this 2-hour train journey to meet with him.
Precisely. Imagine if this was all for nothing. Ha ha ha. That would be so funny. I would probably guff my own bum.
Ha ha ha, yes indeed. From what he has said, there is no way this could ever end in a slap to the face.
We must be nearly there, as the people are starting to stare at us less and also the women are becoming more attractive.
Yes, you are correct. Here we are. Remember to try to avoid eye contact with the busker just in case. Here we are. I am so excited. I've been waiting for this day all my life, in a way.
I suggest you keep talk like that to a minimum around here. You sound like a hormone sensual, not a metal rock death voodoo punk of death. Let's go inside. Wowzers. Heck, this place looks a lot more realistic on the outside.
Hey there guys, you are looking for me. I think I want to say, are you Phil?
Yes, I am. I recognize that Italian accent. You must be Alessandro.
That is not an Italian accent.
Shut your guff trap, you're breaking the illusion. Right, let's get a proverbial beverage and talk band business.
Sounds good to me.
Well guys, we certainly are having a great luck. And getting on like fantastic chums. I like the vibe we are producing with our verbal interactions.
Can I just say guys, you are amazing. And I would love to join the band. I'm in this for the big time. Whatever it takes.
It's only been 10 minutes but I think we all want to move in the same direction and get this show on the road.
We've been searching so long but finally it has paid off. I think there are some great times ahead.
Oh, do shut up. I'm seriously starting to worry about you. Now, let's talk business. Shall we get a rehearsal booked for say 2 weeks' time?
Well, in 2 weeks I'm heading back to Italy. So, that is not too good for me.
Absolutely no problem. When are you back from Italy? We'll organize it for that week.
Yes, the problem is I'm not sure I'm coming back to England.
Ha ha ha. I hope to heck that you are pulling on my proverbials.
No, I'm serious. It is unlikely I'll be coming back.
Heck. Are you actually demented in the head? How the absolute guff are you going to gig with us when you are in a different country?
Oh yes, I can see that will be a problem. I hope I haven't wasted your time.
Oh no, not at all. We love to travel for 2 hours on the train, spending our money on train tickets and a beer for you, just for you to frig us in the guff, right? Well, we are going to leave now for the 2-hour journey back home. I sincerely do hope you get home safely to your flat just around the corner. Come on, let's get the guffing heck out of this vicinity before I lose my temper and tell him to frigging naff off back to Italy.
It's lucky it's all on film, or else nobody would ever believe this actually happened. Unbelievable.
What an absolute waste of time and money. To top it all, I had to spend my last 30 pence at the Paddington toilets. What a rip-off. I can't believe he spun me that guff about wanting to make it big with us. This is the worst day of my life.
And there we have it. That was another real life story, or a Phil Toon, as you guys refer to them as. Thank you for requesting that over on Patreon. Right, 17 minutes past 1 here in the UK, and we're looking for 12 likes in order to get to, or 11 likes to get to the Pick Roulette likes goal, but we've already technically got over the, or gone over the end of the live stream, because we usually end at about 15:15. So what we're going to do is leave a little bit of time. We'll do a riff of the week because we can just extend it a little bit at the end of tonight's live stream. We'll do a riff of the week, see if we get to the target, but maybe we won't. We're looking for 11 more people, and if we don't, then we're just going to have to admit defeat, and then we're going to be looking at you guys in that catch-up crew who are going to be watching this in the future to hit that thumbs up, because every thumbs up really does help. So let's now, I need to get the riff of the week up on screen. Give me some numbers, and I'm going to be looking in. Carl has already said number 9, so I can refer to my list, and number 9 we have not had yet. So we're going to have a look, and by the way, just any number between 1 and 100, but because we're keeping things quick here. Tonight we're going to have a look at a riff of the week, number 9. And oh yeah, this is a bit of a pain because it keeps on, or it shows all of the 90s rather than just number 9. Okay, right, we have number 9 there, and then we don't want to start the video yet. Right, let me do this screen capture thing that I need to set up and get it up on the screen for you guys to see as well. And it's right in front of my face, which I guess isn't so bad. It's just a little bit annoying. Let me scroll down and see if I can... Oh, I know what happened last time. This is because I was trying to look at a picture that we hadn't looked at yet. Was it the Zoom picture? I can't remember. But anyway, let me get this a little bit more centralized, like that maybe. I don't know. Right, we're going to have a listen to this again. Just have a guess in the live chat room as to the riff that this is, the song that this riff is from. So have a listen to this, and just for a bit of fun, let's see what the riff of the week is. And there we have it. And this was a riff of the week where my camera wasn't working, so I just had to play it and you just had to listen to it. So I mean, this is going to be an easy one. Kevin of course says Free Bird, and let me have a little look up there, a little bit higher up. I'm not sure who said the correct answer first. And going down, and hope is the thing, said More Than a Feeling. So correct, and well done to you. Billy says Rainbow's More Than a Feeling. Yes, Rainbow always make an appearance. Thank you for that, Billy. Linda says More Than a Feeling. Bonnie says More Than a Feeling. More Than a Feeling, Rocket Girl. Corey says Boston. Frank says Boston. So yes, it is Boston's More Than a Feeling. So thank you guys for playing Riff of the Week, and congratulations to you if you did guess it correctly. I think that's one of those that, if you are into your music, especially if you're into your rock and classic rock, then yeah, definitely More Than a Feeling is one of those that you will know. So congratulations to you guys in there. And just moving down, because it looks like we need 2 more people to hit the thumbs up to have a pick roulette next week. But it's 22 minutes past 1 here in the UK. And people are doing double clicks, so they're getting a little bit overexcited, which means that it then goes down rather than it actually counting. So we had a double click there, and I think I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it 1 more minute, because I mean it is late here and I do still have to do everything that I normally have to do after the live streams, such as messages and emails and comments, and getting everything ready for tomorrow as well, for everyone, you know, usually doing a video on Wednesdays. So 3:58 at the moment. We're looking for 2 more people, and I mean, I don't know, I said I'd give it a minute, and I think we might be close. We're looking for 1 person. So, and there we have it. We have hit the target, and now it doesn't matter if it goes all the way down to like 200, because we have officially hit the target. So right, we're going to have to really quickly enter in for next week's pick roulette. So this is what you need to do. At Carla Murray, you want to tag Carla in your post and type I agree, like that. So you can copy what everyone's about to do in the live chat room, or copy my comment that's about to go through, which is going through like that. So just do that to get your name on next week's pick roulette, because we are going to have one, because we just hit the target. And I would say that you don't have very long to do this at all, because we're going to be finishing the live stream literally any minute now. So quickly, yes, do that. And while that is happening, let me look into the super chat donations window, because we did have a few more in there. Thank you, Sonali, who donated $20, and the message was I think it's like a dog or a cat holding a flag saying number 1 on it. So thank you for that. And Orlando donated $5 as well. So thank you for that, Orlando. And the message was, when you hear that song has a great hook, what is the concept of a song's hook? So thank you for that. And a hook in a song is something that sticks. Why it's called a hook? Something that sticks in your mind, your memory. So it'll be either, you know, if it's a particular guitar riff, or you know, a horn section that has a particular line that they play. It's a melodic line that is simple and, you know, gets stuck in your head. So let me just try and think of an example. Okay, Want to Be Starting Something by Michael Jackson. When you listen to that, or when I think of that, the first thing that I hear is the bass, and it goes, and that is a hook. Because I can repeat it. It's a simple line that is happening over and over and over again. And I mean, Michael Jackson is a great example of a musician. You know, he puts so much into his songs, but a musician, an artist that had hooks all over the place. Because when you get into the the next part goes and there's a little semitone run up, and again. And then it goes, and there's a horn section, which I just mentioned. You might have a horn section that goes, and these are all hooks. So they are separate hooks that are simple, memorable, and stick in your mind. And the whole reason that I can even do that is because it's a hook. It's stuck in my head. And there'll be songs that you don't even like that have got hooks in them that you can't get out of your head. So that's what a hook is. It sticks in there whether you want it to or not. So, I mean, that's the concept. So if you're writing a song, you want to try and get some hooks in there if you can. And it doesn't have to be instrumental. It can be vocally as well. There'll be a particular melody that you sing that will stick in people's heads, and that's what, you know, having a good chorus is all about, because people will get that chorus line, that melody stuck in their heads, and then can repeat it when they're just walking around going about their daily business. So anyway, thank you for that, Orlando. And Rin has donated $20 as well. Thank you for that, Rin. And the message is, thanks for being you. So no problem. Thank you for that very kind donation, and for all of the donations tonight, guys, because I always say that you don't have to donate. Just joining me is amazing. Hitting that thumbs up is amazing, and it's great as well that we have hit that goal for next week. So we're going to be having a pick roulette next Tuesday night. So make sure that you do tune in on Saturday night as well, because we live stream then, same time, same place, 12 midnight. And the clocks are still 12 midnight British summertime. We haven't changed our clocks yet, so that's what you will need to type in, even though I think Karen said at the end of the last live stream that it's autumn now, so it's not British summertime, but the clocks are still to that. So that's what you have to type in. I always say just go to Google, type in time in London, England, and then you get the time here, and then you can work out what the time is where you are, so you can tune in live. And yes, you have to be watching live to get your comment in the live chat room. That's something that people do get very confused with. So yeah, check your time zones. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'll see you tomorrow night for another video, depending on, you know, how things go. I think it might be the case that I'm just playing it by ear, or should I say playing it by lip at the moment, depending on whether, you know, things are going to flare up again. I did say that it would probably take another 2 or 3 days, but hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will be fine. We will be back for another video on Friday night, and then live streaming on Saturday. So have a great rest of the week, and stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world, as I always say. And huge shout out, by the way, to the moderators for doing such a fantastic job in that live chat room. And thank you guys for joining me and for hitting that thumbs up. And I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!